How's it going, guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Yanis Strelkovs, and today we are talking about a subject that kind of irritates me a little bit, and that is why do I still own an MT07? Catch you after the intro. So yeah, this is the question that comes up time and time again for me. Now, just to put you into context a little bit, I've owned this bike for nearly 3 years. I bought it when I had a full bike license, and this is the bike that I chose. I test rode the MT-07, I test rode the MT-09, I had a look at a few other bikes, but nothing really appealed to me and ticked the boxes that I wanted to be ticked. At the time when I bought it, I was looking for something that I could commute on very easily and something that I can have fun on as well in the weekends, because primarily at the time my bike was used to get to and from work. Now, don't get me wrong, I still use my bike for work, and I'm self-employed now, so my bike still fits all those needs, not as well as they used to, but I still think, for me personally, the MT-07 within a budget is the perfect bike. Now, I have covered nearly 25,000 miles on this bike in less than 3 years. It's about 2.5 years old now, so you can imagine I travel quite a fair distance. Now, personally, if money wasn't an object, yeah, so frankly, if money wasn't an issue, I would have a Ducati Multistrada, because for me, that bike fits all the boxes that I need from a motorbike. Now, I don't have a car license, I only have a motorbike license, so my bike is used as my primary transport. Saying that, the MT-07 isn't the only bike I actually ride. I am quite fortunate that I do work in the motorcycle industry. Now, I work as a photographer for quite a few dealerships, some magazines occasionally, and I get the benefit of riding all sorts of bikes. Now, you name it, and I've ridden it, including the H2 and the H2SX. I've ridden all those bikes, and for me personally, now this is my own personal opinion, now you can say what you want, those bikes do not make sense on the road. Now, the H2SX does make sense on the road, but that's for another video when we talk about the H2SX. But for example, the H2R, as a showboating bike, yes, it works brilliantly. You know, if you're the sort of person, now the majority of riders, unfortunately, that own these bikes, now correct me if I'm wrong, and you can tell me your opinion, but cannot ride for shit. And that whole scenario goes for every single one of these riders that gives me shit, that tells me, oh, you should get a proper bike, or why are you still riding an MT-07 like a child? Now, I chose to get the MT-07 with a full license. Now, that is my choice. With these people going, well, you should get a proper bike, or stop wasting your time on a small bike, or, you know, and the thing is, all these people, they're usually on a 1000cc bike, they ride fast in a straight line, yet when it comes to a corner, they completely shit themselves and can't take the corner. And what's the point? What is the point of having 190 brake horsepower, 200 brake horsepower, if you cannot physically use it on the road? Now, don't get me wrong, there are many people and many riders out there that can, and they have the skills to use 200 brake horsepower on the road, and I'm not giving them shit. What I'm saying is, these people constantly give shit to me that I'm riding something that has 71 horsepower, yet they, on 100 and fucking 70 horsepower still can't keep up with me, and then say, oh, well, you should get a proper bike. This is a proper bike! It's got 2 fucking wheels, it's got an engine, and it does 130 even with my fat ass on it. How is it not a proper bike? Now I know I'm getting quite a bit irate now, but it really irritates me that people perceive a smaller capacity bike as not a proper bike. Now, you put any capable rider on this bike and they will kick your ass, no matter what track, what road, whatever. So it's not about what you ride, it's how you ride it, and that goes true to about anything. Just because this has 71 horsepower at the rear wheel doesn't make it a shit bike or a slow bike. You can still only take this corner at 60 miles an hour tops, no matter what bike you're on. So I don't understand that mentality of people constantly saying, oh, you should get a faster bike, because around the corner you can only go a certain speed. Yes, in a straight line you can punch the living shit out of it and go much faster, but it just completely baffles me. Now it's my choice to ride a smaller capacity bike, and I am happy riding this. Like I said, I get the opportunities to ride many sports bikes with all sorts of capacities and all sorts of horsepower, and nothing gives me the level of thrill that this 71 horsepower twin cylinder bike does. It accelerates out of corners like nothing else. I mean, like, what other bike can you take that corner in 4th gear and still be able to punch out properly? No sports bike is going to be able to do that. You're just going to bog down, you're going to have a shit time, you're going to be uncomfortable, and you're going to moan constantly like every other sports bike rider does on the road. Now, I always tend to think that every bike has its purpose. So there is a purpose for a sports bike, and in my honest opinion, that purpose is not to be on the road. It doesn't belong on the road, because all you're gonna do is go past your skill set and end up in a fucking hedge while you're doing 160 mile an hour. Yeah, you're gonna look fucking cool as hell in your new leathers on your sports bike doing 160 miles an hour until you end up with your face in the hedge. Now, like I said, every bike has its purpose. Every single one. 125 scooters, the lot. They all have their own place in the biking chain. That's why there is that variety of motorcycles out there and the capacities out there, so that you can choose what you want to ride and tailor your bike to your needs and your skill set. It's when people go outside their skill set and belittle other people not being in this sort of top tier category apparently of motorcycling, that it's just beyond me. It really is. That whole realm of, oh, I ride a sports bike, thus I am better than you, is quite frankly boring and tiring now. I am so sick of this argument and so sick of hearing it, which you could probably envision from my voice and the way I'm talking about this subject. I'm just sick of it, really am. If someone wants, now in my opinion, if someone wants to ride a 1000cc sports bike and that's what they're into, then fine, that is your choice. You can go ahead and do it, but do not sit there and tell someone that isn't on a sports bike that they are shit because they do not ride a sports bike, thus for some reason they cannot go fast. Now this bike will do like I said, this bike will do 130 miles an hour with my fucking fat ass on it, And I can bet you I can go around the corner 10 times faster than you can on your sports bike. And that is a mere fact. And I know that as a fact because you see it on track days constantly. These people buy sports bikes and they're all up themselves. Oh, I'm going to do this on the inside, I'm going to do him on the inside. And then I go around them the outside on this, which has 4 times less the power of their bike. It's just, oh, it really irritates me. It really does. Now, I know that this has been quite ranty, and I have been ranting for quite a while, so I'm going to talk about why I still own the MT07 and why, in my opinion, it still has a purpose in my life as the perfect bike. Now, like I said, if money wasn't an issue, I'd own a Ducati Multistrada or something a bit more exotic, something that I can really do long distances on properly without any problems. Oh, hello boys. So yeah, I absolutely adore my MT07. It's a cracking bike for the money that you get. Now, including my finance package and the exhaust and everything else, considering that this was a motor cage and thus £1,000 more than a standard MT07, I paid altogether with interest just over £8,000 for it. Now you tell me another bike that you could pay £8,000 for brand new and have as much fun on it. Now it has got its issues, I'm not sugarcoating it, it has got its issues. Build quality is not as good as it can be. It is built quite poorly in some places. For example, the swing arm rusts and the finishes on certain things aren't as good as you would expect. But I think what people misunderstand is they compare this, let's say this is an £8,000 bike including interest. Now that's not a lot of money, that's not a little amount of money, it is an adequate amount of money for what you get. I once killed a pigeon here, on a side note. It is adequate enough for what you get. You can't expect everything to be stainless steel and be triple painted and finished meticulously when you're working on a budget. So anyways, that's enough of me ranting on. I hope that I've made my point clear enough and that you can understand why I'm so passionate about the fact that people shouldn't judge me and my riding ability just because I ride a small capacity bike. My riding ability has got nothing to do with the fact that I ride a 71 horsepower bike on the road. I can ride any bike, and I'm not saying that I'm the best rider in the world because I'm not. There are many riders that are better than me and many riders that are more capable than me in all instances of riding. Yet, like I said, people tend to judge on exterior motives of such as the fact that I ride an MT07 rather than a 1000cc sports bike or 1000cc naked. So cheers for watching, guys. If you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. If you disliked it, that's alright as well. Just smash that dislike button in the face. Make sure you subscribe. Follow me on Instagram for daily stories and just general chit chat and shit. And I shall see you in the next video. You know what the annoying thing is? got to take the same road that I just took to go home.